my name is Dr. Haruna Manua, and today we are going to look at a very important aspect of wellness, and the organ we are going to look at is almost the most important organ in the body. Though in the medical field there are challenges as to which organ is more important than the other. But today we are going to look at the heart. We are going to look at the cardiovascular system and the heart. The cardiovascular system and the heart. And there is a reason why we are going to look at this one, because the statistics that I will reel out later should not frighten you. Rather, it should enlighten you to understand that there are a lot of need. There is a very big need for us to look at our hearts. So what to know about the cardiovascular system? When we say cardio means heart. When we say vascular means blood vessels. So cardiovascular system is a combination of the heart and the vessels in an attempt to supply the whole human body with blood and nutrient-rich substance to the entire cells of the body, which are in trillions, of course. So cardiovascular system is the system, as I have said, combination of the heart and the blood vessels in a layman's terminology. And we may have been hearing about terminologies like the heart, the arteries, the veins. The artery is the blood vessel that carries blood away from the heart. That is when blood is formed from the heart, the arteries carry blood to the cells of the body, where it goes there and supply the cells with nutrients and oxygen. And then when energy is produced, or when the nutrients are used up, the byproducts that are being produced are now carried back through another blood vessel that we call veins. Then the veins will now transport back the blood to the heart. From the heart, now it will be now taken to the lungs, and the oxygenated blood, carbon dioxide rich blood, will now goes to the lungs, and the carbon dioxide is held. So that is why if we come to the human body and you look at the heart, you will wonder that all the cells, all the trillions of cells in the body, wherever they are, in the brain, in the lungs, in the liver, in the kidneys, wherever, gastrointestinal tract, everywhere in the body, they are being supplied by the blood vessels. The heart is responsible for the pumping. And therefore, we don't have time because I'm just giving 1 hour. So we are just going to take it from a layman's perspective and then make you to understand the concept of what you have in the right hand upper part of your body. That is just like a fist in size, your own fist in size. But you know, as it is being said, that the heart is the last bus stop. When it stops, you stop. That's why when you want to certify somebody, whether somebody is dead or not, the first thing you look at is to look at whether there is cardiac activity or no. Cardiac activity. If there is no cardiac activity, that is when you will now start looking for other signs. So once the heart stops, the person is gone. And that is how important the heart is to the human body. And attention must be paid to the cardiovascular system and to heart to prevent cardiac arrest or sudden death. And this is a common phenomenon. Few years back, it was a case of people that have reached older years, age people, let's say from 60 and above. But today, even young guys, young ladies in their 20s do come with cardiac arrest and heart attack. Why? We are going to see subsequently. Our main objective, our focus today mainly is on the heart and a clean artery. What is the heart? As I have explained, the anatomy, and then the need to love and save your heart. The campaign that has started today is across the nation. How can we save our heart? How can we, love our heart? Because when you love your heart, you prevent a lot of things. The body will have flexibility to do a lot of other things. So we are going to look at preventive and curative measures. Which way out? Are we going to wait until when we develop a heart problem or a cardiovascular problem before we now address it, trying to cure it? Or are we going to start with prevention? And I will give you a statistics. This is WHO mortality statistics. In 2005, the total number global deaths was around 56 million people, and 73.7% of them were due to preventable diseases. Were what? Due to preventable diseases. Diseases that can be prevented. You and I can prevent 73.7% of the deaths that occurred in 2005. Then in 2006, the statistics was almost the same. Same thing with 2009. So roughly 3 out of every 4 deaths within these years were as a result of preventable diseases, meaning to say that 3 out of every 4 deaths can be prevented. And when the statistics was broken down further, it was noted that only 9.1% were due to fires, accidents, wars, Ukraine, Russia, this and that. Only 9.1% of the total death. And almost 75% can be prevented just by small changes in lifestyle. People can prevent 75% of the deaths that occurred in 2005, 2006, and 2009. So this is a shocking statistics, which has shown to us that if we can do a little bit of campaign, a little bit of awareness to people on these preventable ways, it means that we can prevent a lot of deaths that occurred. And we will see some statistics that are frightening, but as I have said as an issue, these statistics are not here to frighten you. These statistics are here to enlighten you, to educate you, to give you direction. Another WHO, World Health Organization statistics says that by 2025, chronic diseases like sudden death, stroke, hypertension, arthritis, cardiovascular disease, obesity, diabetes will have increased by over 300 million people globally by 2025. Is this not something for us to worry in Nigeria? And how can we address this? And that is why we are here. Look at the top 5 causes of death worldwide. 5 top causes of death. The first one, cardiovascular disease, accounting for almost 17.3 million people, 17.3 million deaths. Respiratory disease, 4.2. Cancer, 7.5. Diabetes, 1.2. Stroke, 6.1. This was a statistics in 2012. And out of the 5 top causes of death in the world, the top is cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease accounted as the top cause of death globally. And how does it go about? You start with high blood pressure, that my blood pressure is 130, 90, 130, 90, this and that. You move on to hypertension. From hypertension, heart failure. What does heart failure means to a common man? Heart failure means that the distance you will cover before, now you cannot cover it. When you just move, let's say 2 kilometers, you will start easy fatigability. You have to rest. After 3 months, 6 months, you cannot even move up to 1 kilometer without resting 3 times, 4 times. The heart has started failing. Before you know, cardiac arrest will set in. And in many cases, the death is sudden. And that is the reason why we should not wait until it happens. In some cases, it doesn't even follow this sequence. And we can give you examples in Nigeria, in Plateau State, the Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, when they were doing their monthly physical exercise for the government officials, he just slumped and died. And he was only 64 years old. 64 years old. We knew the story of Stephen Keshi and Amadou Shaibu. Amadou Shaibu, I love him because I'm a Manchester fan. I love him. But at what age? 58? 58 is a young age. Look at Stephen Keshi. In the 80s, when we were young, these were the great footballers in Nigeria, but died at the age of 54 years only due to heart attack, sudden death. So this is to tell us that this is the time, this is the period for us in Nigeria to go out and educate our family, our relations, our loved ones. For those of us that are opportune today to listen to this presentation, to listen to this lecture, we should carry what we are learning here today and go and spread it to our loved ones. Look at what the Sun reported. Rising cases of heart disease in Nigeria. These were experts who conducted researches that said that heart diseases are rising in Nigeria. And I will tell you the reasons subsequently. This is Edo State Commissioner who dies during ESCO meeting. And I learned that it also happened in one of the northeastern states recently, not more than 2 years ago. So the cases are plenty. And what can we do? Is to find out what are we supposed to do now to take care of our heart. Heart attack, the pathophysiology. How does heart attack occur? Mostly is as a result of atherosclerosis. I will tell you what atherosclerosis means. But let us look at what are the risk factors of heart attack. Risk factors means what are those things that predispose you, that may predispose me to having heart attack. One is age. It is said that it is very common, it's commoner in men older than 45 years and women older than 55 years. Then when you have hypertension, that is a risk factor for developing heart attack. The same thing with diabetes mellitus. This is serious, diabetes mellitus. Many people in Nigeria now are having comorbid, and we'll explain what the relationship between hypertension and diabetes mellitus subsequently. For those who have both hypertension and diabetes mellitus, particularly type 2. Then high cholesterol level. Even this night before we started this presentation, I have a friend who is on some of the nutrition therapy who said that in their bank, they go for annual checkup. And he was told that his cholesterol level is a little bit above the normal level. So this is also a common trend in Nigeria. And it's a predisposing factor. It's a risk factor for developing heart attack. Then smoking, family history of heart attack. People today, do not look at family history, but family history is very important. Our parents and our grandparents look at history, but in our own case, we don't ask whether in our family we have history of cardiovascular diseases, history of diabetes mellitus, all sickle cell disease and other conditions that can be inherited that are familial. Then we have high fat diet. People who take junk. Today, we look at people who at all do not even bother what they put into their mouth, and they are predisposing themselves to what? To heart attack. Then drug misuse. I cannot overemphasize the importance of drug misuse as a risk factor, as a predisposing factor for heart attack, in particularly in young people that are in their 20s and 30s. I didn't say 40s, in their 20s and 30s. It is even shocking when you hear the revelation. Then obesity and physical inactivity. Physical inactivity is very common. And it's not only accounting for heart attack, it is also accounting for a lot of joint problems, arthritis, this and that, because people today do not take exercise as an important aspect of a lifestyle. So what are the signs? What are the symptoms of heart attack? Of importance is you will feel like something is holding, in a layman's term, like something is tightening you, something is holding your chest, as if somebody put wire and stretching your chest. You will be experiencing severe chest pain that may be associated with nausea and vomiting. And that chest pain usually lasts for more than 50 minutes. And it is not relieved by change in position or rest. Start worrying when you start experiencing this kind of chest pain. And in some cases, there are excessive sweating, profuse sweating, and there may be cough or wheezing, and generalized weakness and lightheadedness. These are signs and symptoms of heart attack. When you are experiencing this, or you have had you experienced it before, or one of your loved ones is experiencing 2, 3, 4 of these signs and symptoms, you should become worried. Start looking for your doctor. Then prevention. Today, our concern is not much on curative, but rather on preventive. But for those who have already entered into a certain form of cardiovascular disease, or do have some cardiovascular challenges, there is also a solution to them that we can render to them today. So what are those things that we can do commonly, naturally? We say the risk factor, smoking is a risk factor, so you should quit smoking. And people are not taking people are not concerned when somebody is smoking excessively near you. That is also another form of smoking. So quit smoking, reduce your alcohol intake, exercise regularly, a healthy balanced diet. A healthy balanced diet is very, very important. As we mentioned, high cholesterol diet as a risk factor, predisposing factor for heart attack, and also manage your existing health conditions like obesity, diabetes, kidney diseases, and other chronic illnesses. Manage them very well, because if you do not do that, they can also lead to heart attack. But the seventh thing you should do is food supplementation, food supplements. And this brings us to nutritional therapy, nutritional medicine. This is the angle from which our talk will begin. Nutrition therapy. I will take it this. the predisposing factors for heart attack. What it takes for the heart to function properly. Number one, energy. The heart needs energy. And if I say energy, I mean a lot of energy. Where is the source of your energy? You get it from food that you eat. What are those nutrients that the heart needs to produce a lot of energy, to have a lot of energy so that it will function properly, it will function well? Heart failure, mostly today, in many cases today, heart failure is as a result of lack of energy. What causes lack of energy is the supply of the nutrients. The nutrients that the heart requires are not sufficient, are not adequate to give it the required energy. Then good contractility, a regular contraction of the heart. Good contractility, the heart, so that it will contract regularly, pumped optimum amount of blood, good volume of blood, and it will also, take in maximally the blood that is flowing back into the heart. It takes it maximally before now sending it for gas exchange and then recycle and then taken to the cells again for energy production. Then protection against deterioration of the cells. Free radical damage. What causes the heart to become tired? And the common analogy I give to people when it comes to heart is that your heart is like a catapult. A catapult. There is a tube that we make a catapult. When that particular tube that you are pulling, when that tube becomes loose, becomes weak, becomes slack, there is nothing in the world that you will do to bring it back into normal tension. That is the same thing with our heart. When our heart loses its tension and starts failing, all you will do is to manage it. Therefore, it is more cheaper, more profitable for you and I to protect the heart against deterioration than to cure it or to manage it. Then protection against bad fat. For those people who are taking a lot of junks, who have a lot of cholesterol, where are the fat deposits? Liver, under the heart, in between the intestine, under the skin. So when there is a lot of fat under the heart, it prevents it from good contraction because it is constricting it from dilating and then contracting, and thereby hindering its proper function. Then protection against inflammation, pericarditis, myocarditis, and all inflammatory diseases that may affect the heart. Protection against homocysteine and avoiding cardiovascular prone diseases. You will be surprised today that little things that you will do can prevent your heart from getting some little abnormalities. And then exercise, of course. Of course, exercise, very important. Exercise is very important for the heart. So today, we are going to look at the nutritional aspect of protecting our heart to provide the energy that is needed for the heart to function properly. And the first product is cardio health. Cardio means heart, health means wellness. So the wellness of your heart. And cardio health contains all the ingredients, all the nutrients that your heart requires. And then it contains three things: coenzyme Q10, magnesium, and selenium and other antioxidants. What is coenzyme Q10? Coenzyme Q10 is an enzyme, it's a coenzyme that was discovered by for more than 40 years now, discovered in 1978 by Peter Michel. And he was awarded Nobel Prize for Chemistry for doing that. And he discovered the important role of coenzyme Q10 in energy production. And the heart, as I said, is the last bus stop. When it stops, you stop. So it requires huge amount of energy to function continuously from birth to death. And he discovered also that this coenzyme Q10 is in high amount in the heart, in the liver, in the lungs. And coenzyme Q10 is a fat-soluble molecule. And it was discovered that within the cell, in the powerhouse of the cell, in the mitochondria of the cell, there is a lot of coenzyme Q10. So because the heart requires huge amount of energy to function, where do you get coenzyme Q10? You get it from your food. Which kind of food do we take today that contains coenzyme Q10? That is a question to ask ourselves. I have always been telling people, educating people that commonly today, what we eat cannot be compared with what our parents and grandparents were taking before, because all the nutrients have been grinded. You take it for grinding, maize, millet, this, all the minerals, the vitamins, the phytonutrients, the substance, the ingredients that your body requires have been taken away, and you are left with starch. Coenzyme Q10, where do you get it? And your body, your heart requires a lot of coenzyme Q10 to function. In fact, it has been found out that the daily requirement for a coenzyme Q10 is between 60 to 100 milligrams per day. And research that was conducted says if you take it between 4 to 8 weeks, it enhances the ability of you to exercise. So athletes in particular understand the benefit of cardio health because of the presence of coenzyme Q10. And each sachet of coenzyme cardio health contains 80 milligrams per day of coenzyme Q10, which is very, very vital for our system. And as I said, the second thing that we have in cardio health is magnesium. And you have to assure good contractility, as I said earlier, for your heart to take a lot of maximum blood and also to push maximum blood. That is, regularity of heart contraction is important, and good contractility is also important. And this is where magnesium comes into play. And magnesium deficiency is also a common trend in our environment. In particular, let me mention before I reach there, magnesium and calcium. Magnesium and calcium. In fact, I'm surprised. There is a need for somebody to do research on that. Magnesium and calcium deficiencies are very common today. And magnesium is a neuromuscular transmitter, and is very good for heart contractility. And the deficiency of magnesium can lead somebody to have what? To have hypertension. In fact, it can even cause type 2 diabetes, atherosclerosis, and a lot of other conditions, arthritis, and a lot of other conditions. So, number 3, there is selenium. We know the importance of selenium as an antioxidant, particularly for the brain, for the nerves. And there is also vitamin C, vitamin E inside cardio health. There is also olive leaf extract, which is a potent antioxidant, which is almost 400 times more potent than vitamin C. as an antioxidant. And there is also curcumin, which is also another potent antioxidant inside cardio health that will prevent the heart from free radical damage. As I said before, heart failure usually today as a predisposing factor is lack of antioxidants. Antioxidants that our body cannot produce. So we have vitamin E, vitamin C, and then we have olive leaf extract inside what? Inside cardio health. So we have coenzyme Q10, we have magnesium, we have selenium and other antioxidants. This is why taking one sachet of cardio health daily, you pour it inside or you mix it inside half a glass of aloe vera gel or any other drink. Take it for 2 to 3 months, will definitely help your heart. In fact, the research that was conducted in US, I could not bring it up here, it showed that it improves heart failure. So cardio health is very, very important. And we are now talking about bad fat, LDL, low density lipoprotein, which is blocking the blood vessels. You can see the diagram there. You can see the diagram there where the plaque, the bad fat, the plaque almost obstructed the last section there under. You can see it has almost blocked the entire blood vessel, thereby preventing proper blood flow. Thereby what? Increasing resistance. What does increased resistance mean? Increased resistance means what? Increased blood pressure. So what do we need there? We need Active C. What does Active C do? Active C tries to make sure that it reduces that bad cholesterol. And we know forever Active C, forever omega-3, which is DHA rich calamari oil rich, is a special fish oil. And do you know that our body cannot produce omega-3 fatty acids? Do you know that? And our body requires what? Needs what? Needs omega-3 fatty acids. Our body cannot produce, so we have to take it from outside. And another thing you should also understand about fatty acids is that omega-3 fatty acid is that they are easily disrupted by heat. They can be altered or even destroyed by heat. That is why most brands of omega-3s, you will see that they are very cheap because they are processed under heat. Because the process is very cheap. But forever living products, take the pains, take the challenge of the expensive protocol of the cold stabilization process so that there will be optimum benefit from the omega-3 fatty acids. And it will lower your cholesterol and blood pressure. For those also that have comorbid condition, along with diabetes, it also improves, decrease insulin resistance, omega-3. And also, do you know that one of the complications of cardiovascular injuries, cardiovascular diseases, is that it causes a complication, eye complication. Eye complication is very common in cardiovascular problems. And omega-3 fatty acid is part of the structural component of our retina in the eye. So what does that mean? Taking forever Active C will improve your sight and will also prevent you from macular degeneration. And also the tingling sensation in your fingers, in your palms, and then under the sole of your feet, sometimes around 8, 9, 10. Those that have cardiovascular conditions, you will start experiencing as if a charcoal is being placed under the feet, the sole of your feet. That one will also be taken care of by Arctic sea. So Arctic sea is very important. Then we have the miracle molecule, Ag+. Ag+ is very important in cardiovascular diseases. How? Because it contains the miracle molecule that we call L-arginine. It's an amino acid. What does L-arginine do? The process is that L-arginine is converted into nitric oxide. And what does nitric oxide do? Nitric oxide will now dilate the blood vessels. You can see the diagram. The first one on your left is the constricted blood vessel, thereby leading to hypertension, leading to high blood pressure. Then by taking Ag+, sachet of Ag+, the L-arginine inside, the amino acid, will be converted to nitric oxide. And the nitric oxide will now relax the blood vessel, dilate the blood vessel, thereby easing the flow of blood through the vessel, lowering the what? The blood pressure. And this is also very, very important. So Ag+, apart from that, contains a lot of other ingredients. So it's also good for heart. Then we come to the garlic thyme. We discussed about inflammatory diseases, things that can cause inflammatory diseases in the heart. Pericarditis, myocarditis, this and that may cause MI. MI as a precursor. Myocardial infarction as a precursor for heart attack. So garlic thyme is also very important in taking care of that. So if you look at the pack, there is an important product that I have not mentioned there, which is our Forever Aloe Vera Gel. Aloe Vera Gel contains over 200 nutritional compounds. And it contains all the vitamins. It contains vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, which are the three combinations that form one of the strongest potent antioxidant property. Remember, for those who are hypertensive, with or without complications, in many cases, we do recommend, we do prescribe to them to go and get vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E. It is there in large amount inside 1 liter of Forever Aloe Vera Gel. There are a lot of enzymes, coenzymes, hormones, amino acids, but of importance are the minerals that are inside aloe vera gel. If you remember earlier, you talked about magnesium and calcium. There is calcium, a lot of calcium inside Forever Aloe Vera Gel, and deficiency of calcium can lead to heart to be arrested. And today, calcium deficiency is very, very common. In fact, in our part of the country, if you do take 10 people randomly, I will bet you will at least find 3 or 4 of them with calcium deficiency, no matter their lifestyle, no matter their economic status. Why? Because of the type of food that we eat, the type of food that we take. And you will find most of them, not many here, most of them with magnesium deficiency. And magnesium and calcium are very, very important for the heart. And that's why in supplementation, Forever Aloe Vera Gel, Forever Cardio Health, Forever Ag+, Forever Arctic Sea, Forever Arctic Sea with garlic thyme, and the one that I have not mentioned, herbal tea, are very, very important. So these form the cardiovascular pack for the prevention of cardiovascular diseases, cardiovascular challenges, and also if you have any heart challenge, believe you me, take cardio health, take Forever Arctic Sea, take aloe vera gel, take Agi Plus. But if there is infection as a cause, or you have certain form of itis, that is pericarditis, myocarditis, whatever, you can add garlic thyme. And then if you are having insomnia or you are stressed up, you can also add herbal tea. In conclusion, this is a campaign, a general campaign, but particularly for the heart. Today, many of our young people are into habit of drug misuse, particularly cocaine, codeine, all these syrups, tramadol, what and what. It is quite disheartening to find out that young guys, young girls in their 20s, in their 30s, are coming down with heart failure, are coming down with hypertension due to drug misuse. So it is high time for us as a community to educate our people on the dangers associated with drug misuse. Heart is a very important organ, and I believe with this little education that we have given now, we can recognize the importance and the role our heart plays in maintaining our health. And I urge all of us to go back and educate our loved ones. Today, nutritional therapy is the key. I'm repeating, nutritional therapy is the key. Most of the problems that we are having with our hearts today are as a result of nutritional deficiencies. So let us go ahead and take care of our hearts. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much.